heard. Sound can influence the way we communicate the world with others.
From the novelist to the master professional, from experimentation and play to a masterpiece. These are all the elements of sound. Hi, I'm your host, L.V. Smith, and today, you always heard me saying I always have a beginner or a superstar. Well, this is my first group of superstars here. We're going to have a couple of members of that group back in the heyday in the 70s called Mandrill. So today we're going to welcome Dr. Ricardo Wilson, and we have his brother Lou Wilson, and we're going to find out all what they have to share about in sound today. I am so honored to have you both.
Such an honor to be here.
I cannot tell you. Okay, what makes you Lou?
Well, DNA, mother and father, and the ancestry passed down all the way, and a good upbringing and love from family. That's what makes me me.
Okay, great traditions that need to be expressed more often. And you, Dr. Rick, what makes you?
Just to continue from where Lou left off, there are 4 Wilson brothers. There used to be 5. We were born in Panama and immigrated from Panama to Brooklyn, New York, Bed-Stuy. And with that, we brought the culture that we grew up with in Panama, the Caribbean culture, to the ghetto, as they call it, Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, New York. And the melting pot of the world, as New York City is, you add that to the melting pot of the Caribbean, and that's where we got our stuff from.
While we were back in the day, speaking of in the day, I read a fabulous article about you two. Just killed the thing. Just ignore it. What we're going to talk about is, what was the first sound that attracted you?
I think, speaking about growing up in Panama, percussion. We were all into playing percussion when we were on the beach, playing percussion with whatever was available at home. We would use mom's pots and pans to play percussion, and then from there we graduated to playing drums. I think that was the first sounds that intrigued us. And as brothers, 4 brothers, we were able to play together, and that was always very special. And then beyond that, the voice, having the voice, being able to sing together and express ourselves. You know, from a very early age, we were doing that. So the combination of percussion and voice was a significant part of our upbringing.
Well, we were, as Rick was saying, in Panama, the Caribbean, and before reggae, there was the calypso music that we were steeped in, your Sparrow Lord melody. Now you hear my accent change like that, you see. So you had quite a few, and then a big band sound. These cats were, fabulous musicians. And the beat, the African extension of, calypso. So we would, it was always music in the house. Mom and dad always danced. Grandma, God bless her, lived to 105. And she would always dance. So that vibe was always going throughout the house. Then we sang in the church, and we played piano. I learned the piano at an early age, adolescence. And when we came here, we did the brass instruments at Boys High School, and put everything together to form that group called Mandrill.
I was reading in that article back in the day, and it mentioned what you were saying about the value of instruments in a free public school. Would you care to expand on that?
Yes. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, it's so extremely important, and particularly in today's time, when they are doing their best to take instruments out of the public schools. If it wasn't for that, for having instruments in public schools, I don't know if we would have been playing music professionally. We had the opportunity to have access to musical instruments in elementary, junior high, and high school, and it really helped to. Lou was able to choose the trumpet. I was able to choose the saxophone after starting on clarinet because they didn't have a sax, but then they eventually got a sax, and Carlos played the trombone, and we played in the school band, and that was so important to developing our chops as far as.
It was free.
And it was free.
Something that too much today's public and politicians take for granted. They figure if it's free, who cares?
Mm-hmm. No.
And look at the talent. Speaking of talent, why don't you share your toys here?
These are called congas. Most people know. This is the quinto. This is the highest key. This is the tumba. This is big mama. You can hear it. And this is the conga. So you have stuff like, this is one more beat.
Smiles, thank you for getting me on this show.
Talk about your bones.
Okay.
Tell us about the bones. We've always heard about them. Talk about them bones.
Them bones, D-E-M-B-O-N-E is them bones.
Yeah.
These are made of different materials. Originally, bones were made from animals' bones and they're shaped like ribs. They take the rib bone and then they clean them up and took the meat off, dried them in the sun, put whatever. And very simple instrument, but very powerful. Africa is responsible for bringing a lot of stuff forth. And but in Ireland, I think they play this also.
Yeah.
Irish play with that drum with the thing. So 2 sticks. You can use the rulers. We used to use rulers in school. Break our rules and play. So we practiced. Had a lot of practice. You come this way, you come into yourself, go back, you have a double lick. So this is the sound. And it's all wrist. And the faster you do it, and you can 3. And hand bone, same kind of thing like hand bone. Remember hand bone?
I remember hand bone.
The same kind of lick.
Oh yeah. It's a great day in America.
Bones.
You gotta bring